My most excited book of the month comes out this week, so I'm very excited for the list we have today. These are, of course, the books coming out on March 17th. I have everything separated by genre as usual. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Morgan, and I hope you find a new book that you want to pick up today. It seems like every week lately we're starting off with sci-fi, but we're going to do it again because Children of Strife by Adrian Tchaikovsky comes out this week. This is the fourth book in the Children of Time series that is all about these arc ships that are sent out from a collapsing Earth, well, failing, dying Earth, however exactly you want to look at it. They have used this ancient technology to build these arc ships to send them off to find the planets that were terraformed in the past. And it's kind of explained in the first book, just a little bit, not a lot of bit, but it's explained in the first book why exactly that happened. And they are sent out to the various planets within the universe that we had started terraforming projects on. I am so excited for this. And the theme color, because every book is kind of a different color, the theme is green. And when this came out, I was like, oh, pretty, it's green. I didn't even realize it's coming out on St. Patrick's Day. It's just so perfect. I think I'm starting to talk kind of fast. Those 3 cups of coffee are moving right along then into our fantasy section. We start with The Book of Fallen Leaves by A.S. Tamaki. This is the first of a new series called The Autumn Empire, where we are blending Japanese samurai sorts of history with fantasy setting themes. Sen Hosakari is an exiled prince of a clan who lost everything in his father's failed rebellion. Deprived of his birthright, Sen is determined to restore his family's lands and honor at any cost. Rui is a peasant girl who saved Sen's life on the night his family were put to the sword, but now she is adrift and unsure of her place in the world, not knowing that the gods themselves have plans for her. I'm uncertain how to say her name now. My brain wanted to say it one way, and I kept pronouncing his name with an H. It was not working, but exciting sounding though it is. This next one is a comedic, cozy fantasy. It just sounds hilarious and like a yes time and probably a standalone. The Somewhat Wicked Witch of Brigandale by C.M. Wagner. Once upon a time, a somewhat wicked witch named Gritzella lived in a cozy little cottage in the dark forest of Brigandale. She dispensed herbs and tinctures at reasonable prices, met with her slightly oddball coven on a regular basis, and had absolutely no need for any further company whatsoever. Thank you very much. But then, one afternoon, Grisella came home to find a screaming infant on her doorstep. Against all her better judgment, she took the baby in. She named him Bradley. And then the story, continues. And 18 years later, Bradley is grown and off on his own adventure. And even though she advises him against doing this thing, he does the thing. And so she says, okay, to help him out, I'm going to have to take him down. Make sure my son has his best life. I'm going to have to ruin his dream to be the Wicked Witch. And oh my gosh, it just sounds like funny. So she's doing it from a place of love, obviously, but still funny. Another one that might be humorous, I'm not entirely sure where it's going to come down on it. Mayhem and the Mortal by Shanora Williams. One mission, one curse, no escape. Zyra doesn't want a hero. She needs a weapon. To save her sister from a soul-devouring curse, she has to cross the Shallows, a nightmare landscape of ruined magic, shifting paths, and vicious creatures that eat people alive. Her guide? Thane Valker, sorcerer assassin, walking red flag. His name clears rooms. His magic kills quietly. And whatever he's really after, it's not salvation. He promises to help. He might even mean it. So it could just be the name. It's a bit humorous, but it's more just adventure fantasy and obviously the hint of romance there within the fantasy happening. Then a gothic dark fantasy, possibly almost also with a bit of romance, or at least the second book in the new duology might have romance. This one, if it has anything, it would be a slow burn, probably. Inamorta by Ava Reed is the first of the House of Teeth duology. Once there was an island where the dead walked the earth, and 7 noble houses ruled by the arcane secrets of necromancy. A conqueror's blade brought them low, burning their libraries, killing their lords, and extinguishing their eldritch magic. But defiant against the new order stands the House of Teeth, its last living members, beautiful Marzoya, the heiress of the house, and her cousin, the uncanny Lady Agnes. Though she has not spoken a word in 7 years, Agnes is the true carrier of the house's legacy, and she has her orders. She must recapture the secrets of death magic and avenge her family's fallen honor. Somehow she's going to do this by arranging marriage for her cousin to one of the new lords to get access to the library and secrets. She's not supposed to, of course, fall in love with them, but I just do wonder how she's going to negotiate all the arrangements without speaking. Or maybe she will speak, but she hasn't spoken. Our romance this week is Love Song by Elle Kennedy. After a brutal breakup, college junior Blake Logan escapes to her family's lake house in Tahoe, determined to shut out the world. Her plan is simple: no men, no drama. Until Wyatt Graham shows up, 4 years older and far too good at getting under her skin. With his music career stalled, Wyatt has come to Tahoe for inspiration. The last thing he expects is to find Blake. He spent years keeping his distance, convinced he's all wrong for her, but she's no longer the innocent girl he once knew. She's confident, captivating, and impossible to ignore, and the slow, burning tension between them is catching fire fast. So this is a second chance sort of romance, I guess. It's not really second chance if they never dated. I don't know. But of course, it's going to be only supposed to be a summer fling or whatever. It gets more. In thrillers this week, we have You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. Single mother Elodie's life has become a fairy tale. She met Bryn, equal parts golden retriever, devoted, and sinfully handsome. He whisked her and her autistic son Jude to the crumbling family house he's renovating. She and her has a new husband, a new house, and a new baby on the way. Everything is perfect, until Jude claims he can hear voices in the walls. He says the renovations are hurting the house. Even Elodie can't ignore it. Something strange is going on. There were several reviews that loved the book, loved the writing, and then there were others that were less convinced about the writing. Several of them also mentioned how it says she has an autistic son in the description, but it's not brought up in the book. So I found that a bit troubling, questionable. I don't know what they're trying to do with that then. Next, we have Sisters in Yellow by Mieko Kawakami. Hannah has nothing. She's 15 years old and living in a tiny apartment in a suburb of Tokyo with her young mother, a hostess at a local dive bar. They have no money, no security. Then Kimiko appears. Kimiko is older, a bright light in Hannah's dark world. Together, they set up Lemon, a bar that, despite its shabby setting and seedy clientele, becomes a haven for Hannah. Suddenly, Hannah has a job she loves, friends to share her days with, and the glittering promise of money. She feels like a normal girl. She feels invincible. But in the narrow alleys of Shinagawa, nothing is as it seems. Soon, all of Hannah's hopes, her optimism, and her drive will be pushed to the limit. I'm not sure if I pronounced the neighborhood right. Maybe. Our mystery this week is going to be Finley Donovan Crosses the Line by L. Cosmano, the sixth book in the Finley Donovan series. Life hasn't been easy for Finley Donovan lately, but it just got a whole lot harder. This series follows a struggling author as when in the first book she is pitching a new idea to her editor, publisher, over coffee. Somebody mistakenly hears her and thinks that she's a hit woman and tries to hire her. It doesn't exactly refuse when Finley's like, "No, I'm not a hit woman. I can't do this." She's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I know. Okay, I'll up your fee." What? So hijinks ensue between her and her nanny, Vero. And this book is actually following a bit of Vero's past catching up with them and what's going on there and trying to solve that case. So, our fiction this week, we start out with one that's like a psychological suspense drama. It wasn't quite a thriller, so that's why I decided fiction instead. Hooked, a novel of obsession by Asoko Uzukawi, and is translated by Polly Barton. Eriko's life looks perfect, from her prestigious job at a Japanese trading firm to her spotless apartment and devoted parents. Her newest project, to reintroduce the controversial Nile perch into the Japanese market, is as ambitious as she is. But beneath her flawless surface lies a consuming loneliness. Eriko has never been able to hold on to a real friend. Enter Shoko, a popular lifestyle blogger whose work Eriko follows obsessively. When Eriko orchestrates a chance meeting with Shoko, the two women strike up an unlikely connection. For a fleeting moment, Eriko believes she's finally found what she's always longed for. But it slowly turns more into obsession and how dangerous that could be. Then we have a more dark academia sort, Lucien by J.R. Thornton. The son of a working class Czech immigrants, Christopher Atlas Novotny is a talented painter who arrives at Harvard on a full scholarship. Raised amid hardship, he is unprepared for the privileged world introduced to him by his freshman roommate, Lucien Orsini Conti. Born to wealthy European diplomats, Lucien plays the part of the confident, sophisticated bon vivant. Where Lucien is bold and brash, Atlas is timid and introverted. Sensing a willing disciple, Lucien introduces Atlas to the glittering new world of lavish parties and elite social clubs. When Atlas struggles to afford his new lifestyle, Lucien offers a solution, convincing the naive artist to become a forger, passing off fakes to galleries and dealers. But of course, this world will still become very hard on Atlas, not Lucien, because Lucien's nice facade won't last long. It's compared roughly, lightly to the talented Mr. Ripley. Then a YA fantasy to end the week with Prodigal Tiger by Samantha Chong. For 5 years, Caroline Chua has lived in exile from her home and family in Malaysia at a magical academy in New York City, far enough away that she can't hurt the people she loves. That is, until she is abruptly summoned home in an emergency. Her beloved brother Aaron, who is next in line to become the protector of the island, has vanished. And now, back in Pyongyang, she can't help but notice that things don't feel the same as they once did, and it's unclear if she's changed or the island has. Her family's trying to keep her close while she's back, and the council has explicit instructions to stay out of trouble. But of course, she's trying to find her brother and discovers that maybe she can't actually handle it on her own, as vengeful ghosts are out to do something vengeful. Our honorable mentions this week start with Everyone in This Bank is a Thief by Benjamin Stevenson. It is the next book in the Ernest Cunningham mystery series, which, funny enough, this one's description does not say anything about the other books. I've spent the last few years solving murders, but a bank heist is a new one, even for me. I've never been a hostage before. The doors are chained shut, no one in or out, which means that when someone in the bank is murdered, everyone is a suspect. Turns out more than one person planned to rob the bank today. You can steal more from a bank than just money. Then we have Mother of Death and Dawn by Carissa Broadbent getting its trad publishing and new cover debut. I'm not sure between the covers though, because it's a little unsettling. This is the conclusion though of her War of Lost Hearts trilogy. A former slave fighting for justice, a reclusive warrior who no longer believes it exists, and a dark magic that will entangle their fates. And this is a romantic fantasy epic sort of story. I've never picked up this series, but it will be reaching its trad publishing conclusion this week. Those are all the ones on my list this week. If you know of any other ones coming out, feel free to drop them in the comments down below, and I would love to know which ones you're most excited to check out. I hope you're having a fantastic day, finding something great to read, and that I will see you in the next one.